UK lockdown, week 16! This week was a big week for the UK government, not to be confused with successful.
Order, order.
Our great leader Boris set the tone by blaming care home leaders and staff for not taking proper precautions to protect their elderly clients. Of course, Boris failed to underline the fact that social care is largely run out of Whitehall by central government, and that many elderly patients were discharged from hospitals back into care homes without being tested at the start of the pandemic outbreak. The number of elderly people dying in care homes has been a national scandal for the UK, with over 16,000 people dying in care. Of course, Boris neglected to thank care home workers, many of whom had shielded along with their elderly clients for the entirety of lockdown, many also forsaking seeing their own families during this period.
Boris, just show us you care.
Now, I don't like to keep talking about pubs like some alcohol-thirsty bloodhound, but it is such a British institution.
Gin.
Many pubs and bars opened on Super Saturday, some of which opened as early as 6 a.m.
Hooray! I'll drink to that.
Now, we all know that alcohol breaks down social barriers, but of course, alcohol was also going to break down social distancing barriers. Following the mass celebrations of pubs opening up and down the country, sadly, a couple of them had to close for customers testing positive with corona.
Yeah, but at least we're getting back to normal, yeah?
Brits now happily intoxicated, not thinking of the worries about a second spike.
It won't happen to us, it happens to other people.
Mentality could be facing a second spike sooner than expected.
Just ask the people of Leicester.
Now, in wider world events, the city of Melbourne has also been placed on a second lockdown, with corona cases increasing locally. There are strict border controls in place and citizens have to have the correct paperwork to enter and exit the area. Will Brits ever take it as seriously?
Why don't I think about it while I go down the pub?
With many cities around the world now facing second lockdowns, the debate about wearing face masks rages on. Now, the wearing of face masks in the UK is still a woolly issue, with many people asking the government to provide definitive guidelines.
To wear or not to wear?
That is the question. Maybe there's one person that we can take guidance from, because doing a complete U-turn from his original face mask stance,
you are fake news. Sir, go ahead. Can you stay?
This week, Donald Trump was seen wearing a face mask during official engagements. Well, if it's good enough for Donald, it's now probably good enough for us. Now, back over here in the UK, it's not only the coronavirus which we are battling, it's also the use of Chinese technology and the fate of our national security and personal privacy.
Who are we? Who are we?
The UK government are looking at ways that we can safely move forward and continue to trust Chinese tech companies who are trying to move forward and take further hold of our UK security and tech systems. With the recent security laws being passed in Hong Kong, which effectively ban freedom of speech, and the Australians now facing a cyber attack on both national and business intel, the UK are now having to seriously consider whether they continue to allow companies such as Huawei to further increase their hold on UK technology systems.
Ooh, Huawei.
Here in the UK, it's not only our tech borders that we're seeking to protect, it's also our physical borders. With Brexit looming ever closer, the enigmatic Michael Gove has said that he's going to invest $700 million in beefing up our UK border security. Mr. Gove now has the mission of ensuring that UK businesses can still export goods freely, and of course we can import goods
and people
with the correct and official paperwork. Now, I'm sure that before March 2020, none of us Brits knew what the word furlough was, or indeed thought that we would ever be placed on one. The UK furlough scheme has been a lifeline for both businesses and workers alike, helping to retain salaries for people up and down the country throughout the crucial 12 weeks of initial lockdown. With the furlough scheme now coming to the end of its first phase, many businesses who have been unable to trade during the first 12 weeks of lockdown are now facing a difficult decision as to whether they retain staff going forward. One example of this is everyone's favourite chemist, Boots.
Other chemists are available.
Boots, who at the start of lockdown placed 16,000 staff on furlough, have now made the announcement that they will be closing businesses up and down the country and will be unfortunately having to let a number of their staff go. It's not all bad news though, with possibly the most popular Conservative to date, Rishi Sunak, Chancellor of the Exchequer, riding in to hopefully save the day for us all. Rishi's first announcement was to reduce VAT from 20 to 5%. Mr. Sunak is also trying to help UK businesses by encouraging them to take on younger staff for the next 6 months under sort of apprenticeship schemes.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Mr. Sunak also launched the Eat Out to Help Out scheme.
Please, sir, I want some more.
With 50% off meals from Monday to Wednesday during August only.
I sound like an advert.
Let's just hope the NHS staff can make the most of this now that they have to pay for parking at work again. Whew, well, that was UK Lockdown Week 16. Join me, if you can, for UK Lockdown Week 17!